What up, Wastelanders? Christopher here, Gaslands NorCal. Thanks for joining me once again for another conversion video. Now, if you don't know, you haven't stayed to the end of my video, heard my spiel, I am on Patreon. I've got several Patreons that help me out each month. If you want to be a part of it, I'd really appreciate it. Really helps out with the channel and stuff. My very first patron on Patreon was Bo Daddy. He's a good friend of mine, and he's always believed in me. I really appreciate him. So he gave me this casting. It is a Matchbox Super King K-7 racing car transport. And he said he wanted to see what I could do with it. So that's what we're going to do this time. I've got a couple ideas on how I'm going to get it all changed up and everything. Obviously going to strip it. Not sure if I'm going to keep the plastic orange-ish colored glass on the back. Got some minis I'm thinking about using. Got a couple different colors I'm looking at for possibilities and stuff. So that's what we're going to do this week. So yeah, it's going to be a very big mega battle bus. So that's what we're going to do. So first things first, we got to get this big baby apart, get her into the stripper. Alright, so this behemoth is all primed up and ready to go. Kind of been going back and forth on exactly how I want to paint it. I could do kind of the less cumbersome method, just do flat black, dry brush it, stick some numbers on there, kind of like the hot rod theme that I've been doing for a while that I really like. I think that would be very cool. But I was also thinking maybe going a little bit old school and doing like the EM-50. That was Stripes was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid, so that's actually what I think I'm going to do with this one. We're going to do some light green. I'll do a little bit darker down at the bottom, do some stripes and everything else. Get it? Stripes. For the back, what I will probably do, since I don't want to keep it just this orange plastic, is I'm going to make it all metal. So I'm going to go through and drill some rivets going down the side, maybe a few across the top and stuff, and then I'm going to hit it with some lead belcher spray paint, and so that'll get it all metaled up. I'm thinking about doing some drivers, a driver and a passenger, but really the scale for drivers is not correct as far as like a normal Hot Wheels would go. It looks like a toddler sitting in there. So I think what I'll do for the interior is I'm just going to black out the windows so you can't see into it. That way it doesn't throw off the effect and everything else. Looking at how the scale is as far as another vehicle and stuff, it kind of matches up. I mean, that's what a bus would look like, compared to a car, but just the interior doesn't match up, so I'm not going to do any passengers or anything. As far as like the sides, I'll probably just stick some guns in there, so you open it up and you have some machine guns coming out. I have some ideas for what's going to come out the back, but I got to play around with it more, noodle it a little bit and see what I want to do. But I think we got enough to start off with, so let's go ahead and we'll get this base coated, probably in some faded green before we start doing some other stripes and stuff. We'll get the rivets drilled out, get this painted up into lead belcher, and yeah, we'll go from there. But that's the direction we're going to go, so let's make this thing badass. Alright, so we're all primed, well, base coated up in the light green or faded green, and that's one of the things when you're doing any builds. If you're doing several projects, always make sure you have enough paint to complete your project before you get started. As it so happens, I had just enough of the faded green because I checked before I started, which you always should do. No, I didn't, but I luckily had enough. So yeah, always make sure you're going to do that. Next, we're going to go through and tape off the top part because I want that to stay faded green. But we're also going to do a stripe, tape off a stripe around the midsection, and then also a smaller line, a smaller section around the front as well, because that's kind of reflective of how the original EM-50 looked. So we're going to tape those off, and then I'm going to paint the bottom section this forest green, so that will stand out aside from the taped off areas. So let's get that going, and then we'll see where else we're at, where else we are at, and what else we need to do. Definitely going to need to do some customized decals for this, so we can identify this as the, I think I'm going to be calling this the EM-50, since we're well past EM-50. So yeah, let's get things taped off and painted, and then we'll continue on. But this thing's a monster. Alright, so the striping's all done and everything. Liking how that turned out. A little bit of touch-up work, not a whole lot. Next I'm going to go through and agrax it. I'm going to get everything together, then agrax it. Then we'll look at like wheels and external weapons and everything else. For the bed, I put some diamond sheet metal down. At least the plastic card looks like it. Because I didn't want to, make it so it was a vehicle transport or a troop transport or equipment transport. I wanted to kind of leave it open so whoever is going to be using this can do whatever they want. One thing though, for the tailgate, I was just going to leave it blank metal, but I got a call from OSHA, and of course I had to put the safety tape down and the warning and everything, so that's down in there. So for the internals, like I said, I'm not going to change the cab portion of it just because it's too big for Hot Wheels. But for the portion that the doors will be able to show, I made, painted this a little brown so it looks a little more like carpet or something. Dry brush some of that. It's got some tools and stuff on there, so that's kind of cool. Put a monitor in the back. Not sure if you can see this, but it is. I think it's in focus. I made a monitor so it shows like some vehicular combat, so it's like people are like watching it or something. So thought that was kind of cool. One of those things that you're probably never going to see unless you crack this thing open or get it right at the right angle. But I'll know, you'll know. So I just thought it was kind of cool. So next, let's get everything back together. We'll agrax it, then we'll start doing some chipping, rust work, and everything else before we get to pick out some wheels, some external weapons and stuff. So yeah. This thing's coming along pretty cool. I've got the decals printed off and ready to go, so let's get it together. Alright, so we're all agraxed up and everything. Got some grime going on. Looking very cool. I like that the headlights and everything still, they were part of the plastic interior, so they didn't get all stripped away and everything when I stripped it. Looking very cool. So next we're going to go on, I'm going to put the decals on there and then start doing some more of the chipping and rust work and everything else. Rusting the armored bed, I guess that is, tail and backside of the RV thing. Got the wheels and everything else picked out. These wheels just fit perfectly in there. Going to look totally badass. Big old ram on the front. Got a couple of turret-mounted machine guns going to be sticking on the top like so. I've included this turret-mounted, it's on a base. I'm not going to glue it anywhere, but I am just going to stick it in the interior to kind of give, this is what you could do with this kind of build. I'll include it with the build and everything. For the side windows, since these are open, and then they're open, I'm going to do one side, I'm going to put some mesh on the interior so we all blocked off. The other side, I'm going to do some broken glass, shattered glass. So I'll take this and break, a couple parts, like there's been bullet holes and stuff going through it, so it'll look all shattered and everything else. Really cool how the ice sparkles from AK work with glue. Yeah, I'm really glad I found that method, which I don't think I've covered. I'll have to go into that in one of the other videos. So let's get everything all together. Get these all painted up in black, start doing some dry brushing on those, and yeah, get the decals on there, and this thing will really start coming together. So let's get it done. Alright, so we got the initial base coat of rust and everything down. Looking very cool. Loving how this is turning out. The wheels and everything are going to look outstanding on it. Get the RAM and stuff on there. I'm going to get everything on there actually, and then I'll probably go through and do a little more rust work. I don't know why I didn't put everything on there first before I did all the rust work, because it's not going to all fit in if I just put it on there without doing some additional rust. It'll look too new in contrast to the rest of the stuff on there. So let's get everything glued in. I'm not going to glue in the this turret-mounted ram or turret-mounted machine gun in the back. I'm just going to go back there, but get everything else glued in. The door gunner turned out very cool. Love it how that's looking. It's going to go on this side, and then we'll do this machine gun on the other side. Put them far enough in so the doors will still close and everything else. So yeah, let's get everything all glued together. We'll finish up the final rust work and stuff, get it dusted a little bit, and then this thing will be ready to go and hit the Wastelands. Hope I'm doing Bill proud on this one with stripes and everything. So yeah, let's get it all together and we'll see how it looks. Alright, and there we have it. One beefed up Matchbox Super King K-7 race car transport, all modded, transformed, changed up, ready to take on the Wastelands as an EM-50, the next iteration of the EM-50 inspired by the movie Stripes. Here's a little tidbit that you may or may not know. Stripes was filmed at Fort Knox, Kentucky, which is where I went to basic training, so one more connection that I have with the movie. Love Bill Murray, love the movie. It was probably one of my favorites as a kid growing up. Just absolutely fantastic. Had a great time with this build. Huge thanks to Bo Daddy for putting me on this path. Thanks for the casting and everything else. I've gone through and like for the side gunners, you can see, get the door open. Got the machine gun on one side. Got a door gunner on the other side. You may or may not be able to see the little video screen on the inside there showing some vehicles in combat and stuff. The back, I left, the back bay I left open so you can put whatever you want in there. I did do a turret-mounted machine gun that you can put on the inside there like that if you want. Looks very, very cool. Had a great time doing this build. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, do me a favor, hit that like button. My goal is to do weekly videos, whether they're vehicle builds, terrain builds, battle reports, whatever. So if that's for you, hit the sub button below and ring the bell to get notified when new content drops. I do sell all my builds pretty inexpensively on my Etsy page, so if you want to pick something up, see what else I've done, you can even request a custom build. If you'd really like to show some love, head on over to my Patreon page and get signed up. Every bit helps keep the paint flowing, the printer printing, and the camera rolling. Until next time, keep your foot on the gas and your finger on the trigger. Gaslands NorCal, signing out.